because maybe that I had got the information earlier that the enemy is coming to me. I have built up my mind. So for I was
moving back was not enough.
No, when we were given the independent task, I was an independent company commander. The nearest army man from me was 16 kilometers away. That was my battalion. And my battalion, the three companies of my battalion were also from the battalion headquarters on different missions because the war had started already. Now these 120 men, I wish to tell you that it's very difficult to motivate men to face death. It's very easy for me to say or jump out or make a statement or teach the people that yes, you show bravery. But physically on the ground to convince a man, knowing fully well that you are surrounded with a vast and superior force consisting of a regiment of armor, 45 tanks, plus another and a brigade group, which turned out to be later a brigade group, not only brigade group, but the 18th Division of the Pakistan Army. There were two brigades which had come there. Now, your second part, which you have said, how to motivate, I was given the task in writing that I will hold on to the longewaala post, to the last man, to the last one. There were no options given to me to ever abandon longewaala at any stage, somewhat.
If you had an option, would you take?
So the feeler was given to me that what is the situation. My general officer commanding, GOC, my brigade commander, and my CO were in touch with me. I had I was in communication with them. They were weighing pros and cons. Whether should we get 120 men killed or we abandon the post? The choice is between the two. No, you have to select the best choice. The choice was left to me. When I was asked, what you recommend? I said, I recommend that we shall fight here, we will continue holding the post. And if we run away, let us say, we had gone and left the post and left the post everything and gone to the battalion headquarters, I was confident that with the tanks all around me, all around the post, they have surrounded so many tanks as I told you, people would not have survived. If there were any chances of survival, it was only staying put on the post and fighting the tank. That's what helped us. Now, I wish to also bring it that it was the army who held on the post throughout the night. And it is the Indian Air Force which helped us at the first line. That is the next morning, 5th of October. And my compliments to the Indian Air Force. They did a magnificent job. When I am the eyewitness, perhaps the only officer in the Indian Army who has seen them, how they have been attacking the tanks and all. I have very, very high regard for the Indian Air Force. But it must not be forgotten that the post was held on by the army, by the Punjab regiment, by 23 Punjab regiment, who did not permit, under the adverse circumstances, against a much superior force in men and material and also in armor.
I can only imagine, and viewers can only imagine, what it was like for you to hold command of that unit that night. Thank you very much. But I'll come back to you, and we are all so proud of you. Every little anecdote that you are saying, and there are so many viewers here who are perhaps not even born when these deeds of valor were actually being performed. So incredible to hear all of you today. My next guest is Admiral Arun Prakash.
Admiral Arun Prakash. Arun Prakash joined the aviation wing of the Indian Navy on the 1st of January 1966. During the 1971 war with Pakistan, he was deputed to the Indian Air Force. Lieutenant Arun Prakash flew the Hunters and participated in 2 air actions over West Pakistan and Jammu and Kashmir. As a mark of his excellence, he was awarded the Veer Chakra. He returned to the Indian Navy and went on to become the Chief of Naval Staff in 2004.
Tell me about your experience as a young lieutenant. You served with the fighter bomber unit. I think it's the number 20 Lightning Squadron. And you were awarded for air action over West Pakistan and J&K. Tell me about any particular instance and what you experienced when you were there in action.
Well, I was singularly fortunate that I was nominated to serve with the Indian Air Force in 1970. And my squadron was based in Pathankot in 1971. I was a little worried that my own service would think ill of me. So
So I volunteered to Naval Headquarters that I'd like to go back to INS Vikrant. Fortunately, they turned down my request and told me to continue. Fortunately, because I was serving under a great leader. My squadron commander was Wing Commander Cecil Parker, who followed exactly what the Marshal just said. He led by personal example. So on the night of 3rd December, we happened to be in Hindon, next to Delhi. We knew something was going to happen, but when the Pakistani preemptive attack happened, we gathered around the radio and heard Mrs. Gandhi speak on All India Radio, and our blood boiled and we were most indignant. So early morning we headed back to Pathankot, and the first opportunity within a couple of hours we took off. The squadron was given various targets, and as I said, I was lucky enough to lead the second or third mission of the squadron. We took off from Pathankot, headed north into the mountains of Jammu and Kashmir to evade Pakistani radar. Then we descended in the plains of North Punjab and headed for Chaklala airfield, which is right next to Islamabad and Rawalpindi. The airfield was deserted because the Pakistanis had obviously evacuated their aeroplanes way to the west. But after the first or second pass, I noticed a huge tail sticking out of a grove of mangoes. So we turned around and made a gun pass at it, and we were delighted to see black smoke coming out. That was a C-130 transport of the Pakistan Air Force. Then as we turned around, we saw a whole lot of light aircraft standing on a subsidiary runway. So we pumped in some cannon fire into them also. And there was a great rush of adrenaline, and we looked continuously over the shoulder to see whether any sabers or starfighters were on your tail. But we were lucky, we both came home, landed back in Pathankot. So that was my first experience with the number 20 squadron.
Just very briefly before we let you go, Admiral Prakash, what would you say to all our viewers today who are listening in to this program, watching this program across all of India? We talk of on specific occasions. We remember the forces, it must be said, though a bit cynically, on specific occasions. Is there anything you'd like to tell to all the young and old viewers across India today? Anything specific?
Well, I'd just like to say that the Indian Armed Forces are unique. The Indian Army has been at war. They started fighting 15 days after independence in the end of October, and they haven't stopped fighting for the last 62 years. The Indian Army has been in action somewhere or the other all over the country. And the same for the other two services also. The Air Force and the Navy do their bit all the time. So let us remember these gallant young men and now women who are serving the nation, and not just remember them when something goes wrong. The nation owes a debt of gratitude to these young people. And the citizens of India, our elected representatives, must show respect, regard and gratitude to these young men and women who give their lives for the nation.
Absolutely. Well, Admiral Prakash, thank you.
For the young men, I'd say that this is a career worth pursuing. There may not be much money in it, but it is something that you do for your country. There is a lot of respect, adventure, and something a patriotic young man or woman should aspire for.
Admiral Prakash, thank you so much for joining us. Without doubt, that point must be said and underscored again and again. Gallantry is not about money. Gallantry is not about personal valor. Gallantry goes far beyond perhaps the medal that you hold on your chest. It's something that you cherish more deeply than that. Air Marshal Denzel Keeler, my next guest.
Air Marshal Denzel Keeler. On the 19th of September 1965, Squadron Leader Denzel Keeler joined the strike mission in the operations against Pakistan. Flying the Nat aircraft, Keeler and his section engaged the enemy's Sabre jets and crippled them. For his undaunted courage and devotion to duty, Denzel Keeler was awarded the Veer Chakra.
Tell me about